presentation is on the Single Catchment Management Agency. It's essentially on the institutionalization of water in South Africa. And what it would do is it would take over water management in South Africa. It's just a proposal at this point. So my research works on determining whether it can facilitate sustainable and equitable use of water resources in the face of the challenges that the previous CMA structures have faced. Because what I want to determine is, can one body, which is essentially the centralization of a decentralized system, effectively achieve the goals that have been 18 years long delayed? So that's what my research is on. I'm still working on it, and it's very exciting because water flows through all aspects of life. It drives all industry in the country, and only 8% of land mass in South Africa is water, and that fuels 64% of economic activities. That's astounding. That is an actual fact, that water drives our economy. So I want to determine if this Single Catchment Management Agency can push forward transformation in water management and bring in more community engagements, which is what the purpose of catchment management agencies is supposed to be.
Okay, so this catchment management agency, is it being motivated by what happened in Cape Town when there was shortage of water and the commercial farmers were asked if they can release some of their water in their catchment areas?
I wouldn't say it was motivated by that, because that happened, I think, a little while before and a little bit after.
Okay.
But I think it's more especially because it's embarrassing. This is a plan that is in the National Water Act, which came out in 1998. And through the years, there have been various delays. And at this point, further delay just is more expensive for the Department of Water and Sanitation, because where there are no catchment management agencies, they have to perform all the duties, which they're not meant to do. So it's more that it's a push. The Cape Town thing was more of a further push ahead to say we need better water management. But the Catchment Management Agency would not necessarily mean that the people who do own those water, like the farmers, are now put out of, they're dispossessed of their water rights. It's more that there's now exists a body that is well aware of the landscape of water in South Africa. And so there can be effective contingency plans for issues like this, because South Africa is a water scarce country. So if there's a body that's aware of the current landscape, potential for change, and is on top of this, and is especially on the ground, which is, I think, the main point of the Catchment Management Agency, is that it's on the ground, we can avoid things like what's happened in Cape Town. And if not avoid, at least mitigate effectively.
Okay, so in a nutshell, based on what you've said, since you're still doing the research, you can't say you've got any recommendations maybe that you can suggest to the authorities?
I would honestly, I'm still in the process of the research, but just on what I have so far, I would honestly recommend that the SCMA be very strong institutionally. And that means that not just having a piece of paper that says you do this, this, this. It means that having a goal and having certain milestones that must be met. And if there's a failure to meet a milestone, there has to be accountability and punitive measures for that failure. We cannot just say, oh no, we failed, to try again. And I think that's the fundamental problem, is there's a lack of accountability for the failure. So with the SCMA, once established, there needs to be milestones, there needs to be accountability, and it needs to be flexible and adaptable, because nothing is static with water.